Hey everybody, welcome to another Simple Emotions podcast. Thank you for all of the support you've showed thus far. Today we have Zach Bowley, who is a senior at Shrewsbury High, and we are going to talk about his experiences with performance anxiety and an injury he suffered throughout his baseball career. So Zach, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me to the podcast.
Yeah.
My biggest thing, at least recently, has been performance anxiety. It's been better. I've been better with, especially since I've transitioned to crew. But to start it off, I was a PO and a first baseman for baseball. So PO means a pitcher only for people who don't know that. And it was always tough, especially when I was in a slump hitting wise or a slump on the mound and just trying to fight through every pitch, knowing that everyone's just staring at me. I'm just like, I just need to get the ball right over the plate. Yet when I do that, kids are just tanking off of me, and it just like it really sucks. Like I know you've experienced it when you've played baseball, and I'm sure you've had some stuff with hockey too. But just those tiny little moments that just kill you mentally, and when you're in that slump, it's really hard to break out of, and you start building bad habits technique-wise. And, building bad habits technique-wise, you're just spiraling further and further down. And my worst season was probably a couple years ago, like 2 summers ago, I think. I played for this really, really good and competitive baseball program that I thought was going to help me get to college to play baseball. And I had the worst season of my life. Had a really good start for the first game, and then after that, I pitched like probably a total of 20 innings over the 20-game season. It was bad. Like I tried to get help. I tried to talk to my pitching coach, my head coach, trying to get help, trying to improve, and I just didn't really get anything. It was more of a figure it out by yourself, which, as you may know, if you're struggling mentally, struggling physically
It's not what you want to hear.
It's not what you want to hear, not what you want to receive from your coach, the guys that you're looking to for help.
Yeah.
And that kind of put me on a downward spiral, and it honestly made me lose my love for baseball. I played one more season, and then I call it quits. The lost love for baseball actually helped me fall in love with crew, like rowing, and I found out how good I was with that, and I'm trying to do that for college now instead of baseball, which has been a massive change in my life.
Yeah.
But going along with performance anxiety, baseball, when you're the only guy on the mound, it's tough. But the beauty of crew is you have 7 other guys in your boat, 7 other guys that are relying on you, and you're relying on them. It's really tight knit sport, and like you have to trust these guys. You're rowing exactly in time, exactly with every single little motion. Otherwise, the boat's going to be slow. And it's a really fascinating sport, and it helped me out. I don't really have performance anxiety with that. I think mainly because of that. Like I know there's 7 other guys in my boat, same exact situation that I'm in, like just trying to go down the river or the lake as fast as possible.
Yeah. I think what's interesting about that is like it's kind of a perfect metaphor of just anxiety and isolation in itself. Like you felt helpless pitching, and unfortunately you didn't really have much support. But like just looking at the 2 sports, baseball, when you're the pitcher, even though you have your teammates like around you and they're all supportive and whatnot, but you're literally in the center. You're isolated from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the most important people out there, and you're just by yourself doing your thing, and the game dictates around you.
Yeah.
So then when you're in a slump or you feel like you're alone, on the position chart you are.
Yeah.
But then in crew, like you said, all 7 people are in the same boat. You're like right behind each other. You're all together. You're a team. And I don't know, because I'm kind of just pulling this out of nowhere, but I wonder if that helped you, because you're with somebody and you're literally not alone, and you even touch upon it, like rather than like you all have to work in unison rather than all right, Zach, you gotta pitch well, and if you don't pitch well, it makes us our job a lot harder.
Exactly.
And I think it's a good metaphor for life in general. Like, I'm being serious because like you're on the mound and you're alone, but then when you get people close to you, and you all work together,
exactly.
you will feel better over time.
I mean, going along with that is I spend hours of my day, like every single day. Just it's funny because when we're rowing on land using the erg machine, we're training to get fast, but we're going nowhere. It's a mentally tough sport as well, and having my teammates literally like closer than we are right now.
Yeah.
On the boat, on the water for hours at a time, every single day. It helps. You gain very, very close friendships which helps in the boat too, and it helps mentally too because you know that they're striving for the same goal that you are, is to win, to improve, to do well. I mean, we won mass pubs this year for our fours, which was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it was the first time we won mass pubs since like 2019. And all of my close friends are on the team. They're 2 seats from me. They're a seat ahead of me, seat behind me. Like it's a really, really fun and interesting sport when you're on the team. It's not very spectator friendly at all. It's when it's just one motion and you're going in a straight line. But yeah, it helps mentally. It's a mentally tough sport because your muscles are dying. Everyone thinks it's mainly upper body because they don't see anything in the lower half.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks it's just pull. It's you're pushing. It's like you're pushing against the footboards, which is where your feet strap into, so you don't just fly out of the boat and like not have anything to hold on to. But yeah, it's a mentally tough sport. You feel it everywhere, and doing that and rowing and putting yourself through the literal blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
With your close teammates, close friends, it really helps mentally.
Yeah.
And because of that, I haven't had any performance anxiety like at all during crew. I mean, maybe just a little bit of the first season or first race of the season, like at the start. But once we're rowing, I'm locked in. I'm ready to go. I trust my teammates. I trust myself. I trust my coxswain. Like everything's good. Everything's going well.
I mean, that just proves that when you're in the right atmosphere and you're doing what makes you happy, or even just what makes you content, and you're with people that support you and that you enjoy being around, it will really help your mental health with anything, like with your performance anxiety, as an example. Like, again, you felt really alone out playing baseball, and there was really no one there for you, and then boom, you're like, oh, let's do crew, and then you love it, and then everyone there you love too, and then you're doing better with your performance anxiety if it's even like so prevalent. And I think that's really important to share, because doing one thing, even though you love it, but you feel like shit doing it, you feel like you always have to do it. Even though you aren't enjoying it, you're like, I've been doing this since I was 2. Like, that's an exaggeration. But and even though it's mentally draining and the people around you aren't the best, you feel like most people feel like they should push through, unfortunately. But it's really powerful, and I'm proud of you for understanding that, like, look, I'm not enjoying this. I'm not doing good. Everything's just bad right now. Let's reset. And that reset's really hard.
It was. I had multiple sleepless nights thinking of like, well, shit, I absolutely love baseball. Sorry, crap.
No, I just said it. It's okay.
Anyway, but I love baseball. Like I've literally been playing since I could walk. Like backyard baseball. I got a video somewhere. I think I actually posted on my Instagram of the goodbye baseball post, but where I just hit a tank off my dad when I was like 3. I was like this height. But literally since I could walk, basically. Yeah. And it was, I've been playing that throughout my whole life, and it really was tough because I had multiple sleepless nights of being like, do I really want to quit?
That's hard because
what's going on here?
Like, for me personally, I wouldn't say I got lucky, but one of the interesting things about my story that isn't always shared, just because it doesn't really fit as well. I wasn't enjoying hockey my last year, because I wasn't as good as I used to be. With the 2 injuries, it's like, is it fun still? And the game that I got hurt again, it was an away game, and I've already talked about with my parents, like, I might not be like play next year. I might be done after this, and that would have been the last game that they would have been able to see me play. So like, it was an emotional game because I was in the mindset that I'm done.
This is my last game.
And then wouldn't you know, my first shift, boom, my shoulder pops out again,
and it's just
it made the decision for me. But I digress from that. It's like it's tough to actually say goodbye because I can say I could do it because I had to. Like, I had no other choice.
Yeah.
And that is a whole different thing than being the bigger person and just knowing when to step away. Because, again, I don't want to say lucky, but I had the decision made for me. And I most likely probably would have sucked it up and played another year.
Yeah.
Even though that's not the best for me. And I think it's really cool that you were able to know that I am mentally done when that is everything you knew.
And to go along with that, I kind of made like a middle ground choice. You know, like I didn't want to end the way I did.
Yeah.
Because I knew, unlike you were out medically.
Yeah.
Which that sucks in its own world.
Yeah, 2 totally different things.
Yeah. But I wanted to go out how I wanted to go out, so I played another season. But instead of a PO where I'm literally only doing one thing, I turned back into a position player. So pitcher first, I'm hitting, like I did everything. I had the worst slump of my life hitting. I had 1 hit of the season because I didn't swing a bat in like 2 years. but it felt like the pressure was off because
you're enjoying yourself.
I was enjoying myself, and what was funny was, by dumb luck, I was playing with teammates that I had played with 2 organizations ago when I was like in middle school.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that helped even more, reconnecting with those guys, and my pitching got better. Like I was shoving, which is ironic because I wish I had that the year before. And defensively, I was having fun at first, making plays. Like I went out how I wanted to go out, and I'm really happy that I did that way.
Yeah.
And but I 100% do not regret the decision to quit baseball.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, because like we talked in Ricky's podcast too, when he transitioned his career path.
Yeah, from the military.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure he was doing the right thing, and he said, like, don't just do something off of impulse.
Yeah.
And clearly you didn't by taking a whole extra year. But it's important to get that closure because it's like anything. Like, it's silly to say it's like a breakup, but it really is.
It kind of is.
Because you were in it for so long and then it started to get toxic and then you needed to step away. Like, it's hard to step away, but you didn't do it impulsively and you took the right steps. You really thought it through. And I think people should understand that even though it's hard and it may even make you second guess your choice, it's really powerful for your mental health and will help you tremendously in like coming to get closure with that decision, because closure it's so hard to get with anything. And I'm happy that you were able to find that as well at the end of the day.
I mean, that was the past, and then like now, for example, I'm fully switched it to crew, and I think I don't really know what to call it. It's not really performance anxiety. It's more of like maybe thinking too much about my goal or something like that. Because like especially now the season's over, I'm working out by myself. I'm not working out with my teammates, which helps in its own way. But also too, I need my mental toughness solo, which I do have. But it's hard every now and then just getting on the erg and again, going nowhere fast.
Yeah.
And just improving, because I'm trying to row in college, and it's tough knowing that I don't have natural talent. I'm fighting for every second that I can get, every lower time than I can get, and it does suck because it's more of a, I'm looking at, okay, what's my deadline? I got to hit this time by this time. This is not where I want to be.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, I need to get here now. Like now, and it's like it's. I'm not very like anxious about it. Like the who's the guy you had with the main anxious
Jackson,
and it's not like anxiety where like an anxiety attack or anything like that where I feel like my heart's pumping out of my chest.
Yeah.
But it's more of like a mental overthinking. Like, am I where I need to be right now? Like I should be better right now, and I don't really know what to call that, but.
Over criticism, self criticism.
Probably, yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I don't know if you want to throw perfectionist on it because you have a goal.
No, I'm definitely a perfectionist.
Oh, then there you go.
Like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm definitely a perfectionist when it comes to athletics. My academics, I tend to slack off every now and then, but I have good grades. I'm all good, but yeah, when it comes to my athletics and especially crew, which is, it's one motion.
Yeah.
It's one motion. It's not like baseball where pitching, fielding, hitting. It's a lot of different motions for effects. Crew is one singular motion. You're going to catch, drive, finish, recovery. It's 4 different processes in one single motion. You're doing that over and over and over and over again. So trying to perfect that one stroke and put more power into. Oh, I can put more power into. Okay. How's the set in the boat? What can I do with that? I'm giving you a bunch of crew terms that nobody's going to understand except like my buddies on the team. But but yeah, like is my swing good? Am I in time with anybody else? Like it's tiny, like minuscule little things to try to perfect, and that's honestly why I love the sport. Is because I'm never going to have that perfect, the perfect stroke. Nobody is, but it's to get as close to that as possible and putting the power into it and just, again, making the boat faster.
Yeah.
Because you can always go faster. When it comes to time and, like, all that and, like, time trials and just racing in general, like, you can always go faster.
Yeah.
Like, there's world records, but, okay, well, when's the next world record going to be? What's the next record going to be? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You can always go faster. And, yeah, it definitely is tough when I'm doing it solo every now and then of just school's getting busy, life's getting busy, just hopping on the erg and rowing for 20 minutes a day. Like it is tough, especially when it's a sport where you can have an off day, your power's not there, you're feeling sick, like nothing's just working for you physically, and then all of a sudden the next day you're like fantastic. It's not consistent, but just putting in the effort every day is what I've been trying to do, and I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job about it. But again, going to the over criticism and like perfectionist type stuff, like I definitely can be doing better. Like that's what I keep thinking of. Like, okay, you need to put more work in.
Yeah,
you can do more work. These Yale guys, these Ivy League guys are putting in like three sessions a day.
Yeah.
Like meanwhile you're doing once a day or once every other day, like even though it is the off season.
Yeah. I mean, it's tricky because it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like it's a good thing to think that way for some people when it helps them. Like for me, you know how I act in the gym.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like everything's bad. I'm so bad. I run a 2.2. It's so bad. But for me, it works.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful because traditionally you should say don't do it.
Yeah.
But if you can take that and use it as fuel and then detach it from reality, like when I say it's bad, I'm not like, I say it to motivate myself, but I don't believe it. And it's because I've seen so many people.
And I get that, because we're the exact same. That's why we're so close, because like, going to the gym, I mean, for people who don't know, we met in the gym, but that was a little cringy, but whatever.
That's okay.
But yeah, us being in the gym, like, dude, like that's how we got close. Just joking around the gym, like, making fun of each other.
You stink! No, you're worse!
Like,
but I think for people that struggle with that criticism and that actually it like damages them because it's not the most traditional thing. the biggest thing when you get caught in that loop is to detach it from reality.
Exactly.
Like, those thoughts aren't real. Like, they're real, but they're not true. Oh, I learned this today in therapy, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I forget the fancy therapy words, but then there's your caveman brain, and then there's your actual brain.
Yeah.
The caveman brain is those thoughts that come really quickly that aren't filtered through what, like, you suck, you're so bad, you're not good enough. Those are the caveman thoughts because they're just boom, bad. Then there's the more humane thoughts that are just, okay, that's not good, but it's okay, we can do better. Like, the more thought through thoughts.
Exactly.
But if you can understand that, like, we are fortunate enough that we can,
Yeah.
that those are your caveman thoughts. We aren't in the Stone Age anymore. We don't talk ooga booga. It's okay
Ooga booga
to have those
move
thoughts and
circles
believe. Yeah,
Fast.
it's okay to have those thoughts and believe them, but understanding where they're coming from, that it's not your fully thought through thoughts, and then using it, like, okay, I'm a caveman now. Let's bench 315. Like, use it
no,
as.
you suck. You can't do that.
Then do it. It's like use it as fuel. And it's really hard skill. I don't know how you got to the point to be able to do that, or if you just naturally did. But, like, for me, I've talked to so many people that I'd like to say I know what I'm talking about too. That I've had the skills and the people that helped me to get there, and it's untraditional. And it's kind of a ramble, and I've said this already, but it's untraditional using that as motivation, because I know my girlfriend Evie, whenever she hears how I talk, she's like, no, that's so bad. I'm like, traditionally, yes, you should say that, but if you have the mental fortitude to be able to, like, take it out of reality, it can be alright.
And honestly, is that just like every single girlfriend that does that? Like, you talk shit about yourself, and it's just like.
Well, yes and no.
Because, like.
She's a gymnastics coach, so, like, she teaches, like, younger kids how to do flips, and with younger kids you need to be more motivated.
Exactly.
But
I mean, because it's the same thing with my girlfriend. So, like, every time I'm just pissed at myself, like, oh, I know I'm not feeling physically good coming out of the gym or out of practice, or like, oh, that practice was so bad, even though it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, just kind of, for me, I get, I want to say I'm very emotional, but I get, like, I kind of, not really force myself, but I force myself to be more pissed or be more excited over wins and losses, to use it, again, as motivation.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fine line, and some people don't understand it, some people
Like, I was
like,
never able to do that.
It's, overall, the grand scheme of things, like, it's a very, very gray line. But when you go individual person, and everybody's stories are different, and it's a very fine line for me, and I know that line of when it turns motivational to unhealthy and destructive.
Yeah, because, like, for me, when I would play sports, like, whenever I would do something bad, internally I would laugh, because externally you shouldn't, because it can be a sign of not caring. But internally, I would laugh, because, like, I would literally laugh it off, because I knew if I got pissed, it wouldn't be good. Because, like, in hockey, if I were to make a mistake and actually get pissed, what I'd end up doing is I'd either end up blowing someone up and taking a super penalty, making dumb decisions, or just playing bad, because I'm not in the right state to be playing. But, like, when I would play, I'd make a bad pass, I'd get mad. I say some dumb stuff. But I would be like, okay, it's done. That was dumb. That's funny. And then reset. That's the way I do it. Obviously, you do it a different way. It works for the both of us. And it just proves that there's different ways to respond to failure.
Yeah.
Because no one really knows how to teach overcoming failure. Like, you can buy a $300 course. It may not work for you, because you even said it, it's person to person. Like, you can talk to, like, and you should, if you're really struggling with it, talk to a professional to help guide how you can, like, overcome failure. But listening to like this podcast isn't the solution. It's like, it can be a guideline, but it proves you can be, I'm, like, so pissed, and it helps you. For me, I have to laugh. It's just different, and it's fascinating.
And again, that's the beauty of the podcast too. Like, I know this is just kind of starting off, and you're not Joe Rogan with thousands of
not yet.
thousands of people and all that. But again, with the guideline is I know your story, and the whole point is we're all individual.
We're all different people,
and trying to show our emotions in a simple way.
Yeah.
I know exactly. Buy some merch.
Of course.
SimpleEmotions.shop.
Yeah, here we go. .shop. Yeah.
All right. But where was I?
They're talking about how it shows. Yeah, because
yeah,
like for us, we're like almost opposites, and then there's so many similarities.
Yeah,
like
I found out where I am now.
Yeah.
But like with the podcast here, like the individual stories, it's really cool, and it's your. I know you're gonna have some guys on here that are like. Pretty,
don't spoil it yet.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I know you got some guys coming.
Yeah, we got some people on deck.
Pretty athletic that are gonna share their sides of stories, but for the people who don't have natural talent and have to grind everything out, and just your everyday average person, like it's the
because
individual
it's everybody.
stories is it's very interesting, and it's more of a reality check with these like, hey, you're not alone.
Yeah, no, because like it's weird, and I feel like it's alright to say, looking at somebody, you won't assume they struggle.
Exactly.
Especially when you go through a lot of stuff. Like, I fell into that trap, and this is another reason why I want to like advocate for it. Like, when I go through so much stuff, I look at someone, I go, no way they went through as much as me. There may be cases that's true, but that doesn't mean they didn't go through anything. And like, we look like two average Joes.
Yeah.
And like, your story is really like special, and it's really vulnerable, and so many people experience stuff like it, and it's weird because it doesn't make your story any less special.
No.
It doesn't make theirs any less either, but there's so many of them, and it's like, how can something so saturated be special? It's like, because like you said, everybody's unique.
Nobody's perfect. That's why if everybody was perfect, then we got no emotions.
It'd just be a utopia. It wouldn't be good.
Yeah, but also too, utopia's not utopia.
Yeah, well, okay, we don't need to go there. Read the book, you'll figure it out.
That's not this podcast. We can go into that, but that's not this podcast.
Yeah, that's like philosophy and stuff.
That's philosophy.
Okay.
But
I think we're getting to a good point to wrap this up.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any closing remarks you'd like to share, or any major points?
Talk to people, talk to your friends, like trying to hide it all, it really doesn't help.
No.
I mean, you might talk to your closest friends, and even talking to friends that you don't consider your best friends, like, people are there for you.
They are. And you're surprised. It's surprising how many people
I
are.
have a lot of friends that deal with individual mental health stuff, and it's again, going back to the crew thing, like, I'm not like best friends with them, even though I'm like spending hours of every day with them. Like, we're close, and like more people care about a person than that person thinks they do. Like, way more people care about
people
them
need people.
Exactly. And that's why I love crew. But, and that's, again, going back to the performance anxiety, people need people, that's helped me a lot. And just talk to people about how you're feeling and what your issues are. You don't have to go into detail, but just letting some stuff out instead of keeping it in, because I've dealt with keeping it in.
It's not good.
It's not fun. It is not fun at all. So.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your story, and of course, and helping people, because I'm sure people will take what you said and it'll impact them. And I say this at the end of every podcast, and I'm sorry, and it's cliche, but if you enjoyed this, please click the red subscribe button and turn post notifications on. And I appreciate you listening to Zach share his story. And have a good day. Bye bye.
I appreciate stuff.
Yes.